Okay, we are live. Let it breathe for a sec. Scott, will you connect? Just let's have you connect them Facebook too. We're really going out of our way, guys. We're running late tonight because we're really trying to mind our P's and Q's on some of the technical issues that have been going on the last week or so, and we're trying to cover all the bases. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we got it solved for now. Zach, I guess I should do the intro. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Mile High Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me, my fellow football priest. You know him, you love him, Zack Kelberman. Zach, we didn't get as much time as we would have liked to chat with you on the previous episode where we were having those issues. But, dude, it's great to have you back, dude. Have you been enjoying your summer? Because it's about to get crazy in about 2 weeks.
I'm kind of scared to talk. I'm kind of scared to move. Yeah, I was about to say this on the last podcast Monday, but I kept getting kicked off. So we said F it. But I'm excited to be back with you. Hopefully this holds up. I'm glad the summer is going along, if only because we're that much closer to training camp. There's going to be NFL football later this month, Chad. The Broncos get back in pads. I'm very excited, in particular, also to go over your top 5 rankings that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Well, and I want it to be our top 5. I want us to debate this. And in all fairness, too, by the way, this was something that I was inspired. The article was inspired, and thus this episode, by just a question that Nick and Eric answered a couple pods ago. I'm not sure who it was. Jeremy, I might have been in the chat asking, hey, rank the Broncos top 5 players. And so we'll get into that. And maybe we talk about, Zach, who are the top 10. We got plenty of time. There has been literally no news. Traffic, views, fan scrutiny, they're at about as low of a point as it's going to get in this particular calendar year. So let's just kick back and have fun and talk about stuff. Papa Bear, dude, what's going on? So great to see you. Much love and respect. Really still stoked that you're obviously trending in the right direction with things, dude. Stoked for you, man. And yes, tomorrow is the 4th of July. So Papa Bear's saying happy 4th of July, Broncos country, hashtag 13 and 4 plus. 13 days before training camp. Indeed, dude. You got any plans for the 4th weekend, Zach, yourself?
Cooking out, fireworks. I'm pretty lame in that sense, pretty generic. How about yourself?
No, this time around, it's kind of a staycation type thing. I mean, sometimes we'll go out into the mountains, or, you know, we'll go with the old man, maybe hop on a boat and pedal around some lakes or fish or something. But this time we got some stuff we're doing around the house, trying to catch up on a few projects before the season gets rolling in earnest. And so we're kicking it, man. We're kicking it. So like you said, cooking out, you know, I'll do some barbecuing, start using my Blackstone a little bit more, which I got for Christmas. And I've only used it twice, but I love it. So highly recommend those bad boys.
That sounds awesome.
But how much of the cooking do you do, Zach?
I do the grilling. Everything else is left to the other half. But I'll get on the grill with the best of them, though.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. What's your favorite thing to grill?
I'm partial to hot dogs, hamburgers. There's nothing. I love hot dogs, love hamburgers, but they don't taste as good unless they're on a charcoal grill. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. What about like doing a steak on the grill? Do you ever go that far?
Yeah, that's just so like it's a fine balance. You leave it on like a second too long, it's not how you're liking. So to me, I don't like to take that gamble. Hot dog, hamburger, that's more my wheelhouse. It's easier.
So what I like to do now is I take the Gordon Ramsay method on steaks, cooking them on a cast iron pan like if you were in your kitchen, and I apply it to the grill. Real quick, guys, then we're diving into some Broncos, okay? And that is simply this. Salt them, get them on the grill, piping hot grill, and get both sides, get a nice crust, all right? And then once you've flipped it, have a pre-prepared thing of melted butter that's kind of emulsified with garlic and some chopped rosemary, and then just baste that bad boy on the front, flip it again the next time you're ready to flip, baste it on that side, pull her off, and use that butter for a dipping sauce, finish with a little bit over the top. Blows your mind because you get that whole kind of restaurant effect of the butter and the garlic and the rosemary, and then you get that char from the grill. Highly recommend.
I'm about to Homer Simpson, like open mouth drool, Chad. I want to go get some steak right now. Sounds amazing.
Papa Bear, happy 4th. And that goes to everybody, man. Hope you guys have a great 3-day weekend. And stay safe. Enjoy yourselves, and your family and your friends, but definitely Stay safe. Just a few other hellos here real quick. David Yunkin, great to see you, buddy. Wants to know, can someone explain why that Greenlaw is not in the starting lineup for the defense? I'm not sure what he's talking about, Zach.
Depth chart. I'm not totally sure, but he's hurt right now, David. So maybe that's whatever you read, that they're not keying him in as a starter because he is injured. But we all know by week 1, or even much before that, he's going to be starting an inside linebacker.
Jermaine checking in from Syracuse, New York, in the house, baby. Go Broncos. See, Broncos country, not a geographic location. It is, in fact, a state of being. That's awesome, dude. Great to see you. Jason Bonney, what's up, pal? And yeah, dude, Diablo Bronco in the house. Great to see you. Yeah, gang's all here. Zach, myself, Mr. Producer's in the hizzy. And yeah, so we just wanted to make sure we had it down, dude. And I think so far, I don't want to jinx it, Zach, but it's feeling pretty good so far. We can maybe let our hair down a little bit and relax. Phil, good evening. Chad, Zach, Deacon Scott. Everybody have a safe 4th. Designated drivers only. Hashtag Buckham, MHH for life, Broncos for life. No doubt about that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Designated drivers. Be smart. Be safe. Lawrence, great to see you, buddy. How is you? On Facebook, checking in. Lawrence Rivera saying, happy 4th tomorrow, everyone. I'll be at the Rockies game enjoying the fireworks. Yeah, that'll be fun, dude. I was thinking about that myself, dude. So enjoy that. Have fun. Enjoy the fireworks. I'm sure it's going to be dope. Yeah, sorry, Graham. Sorry, buddy. Hey, this time of year, first of all, Zach and I, we reserve the right to go on any tangents that are non-football related. We don't do it too often, but when we do, we keep it pretty tight. We don't go too far out into the weeds. But this time of year especially, dude, who cares, right? Like, what's going on? There's nothing. All the things that we're going to talk about tonight in one form or another, Zach, we've talked about for the last 6 months, right? So happy to have you, Graham. Thanks, buddy. Are you still writing, by the way? You still doing the blog and stuff? I'm pretty sure that's how I know you, if I'm not mistaken. But one of you guys wrote about what ESPN said. Shoot, dude.
Wasn't me.
I'm trying to. Normally, I would just pull up a tab and we'd go hunting on milehighhuddle.com, but I don't want to do anything that would screw up our stream here. So I'm not sure exactly what one you're talking about there, bro. But it's kind of bugging me because whoever would not project a healthy Dre Greenlaw, Zach, as a starter in this defense doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't write the article. I didn't see that article, but I would assume it's because he's injured right now. But again, David, come week 1, Dre Greenlaw will be the starter at inside linebacker.
I mean, ESPN, Mike Clay, last week when I was rolling solo, Zach, I went through the ESPN projections, Mike Clay's projections for the offense, individual players. And I had an article on that also. And then this week I did the defensive side. Okay. And just the starters, I kept it pretty what people care about. So Dre Greenlaw, here's the projections: 140 tackles, 1 sack, 1 pick on 937 snaps. So that's like never leaves the field, right? Which I think that's, if he stays healthy, that's the ultimate caveat. I think that's pretty right in the pocket, dude. Although he might end up with more interceptions than that. Time will tell.
I was going to say that exact point. Yeah, with how much he's going to be deployed in coverage, I'd be surprised if he only had 1 pick, but he's going to be a major boost in the middle.
Dude, check it out. Gene's in the house. What's up, bro? He's still got his profile pic. It's a special one. That's his old man. That's Ralph. That's me at the Bridge the Gap show. That's Gene. And then that's, what's his name? I just Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. So yeah, dude, I still love it. Happy 4th. What's up tonight? Let's go Broncos. Amen, buddy. Amen. Great to see you. Thank you for the support as always, my brother. Can't wait to see you and the dudes October 19th. It's going to be a gas. Ed Keating, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Kirsten Bailey, drummer. How's the QB wide receiver camp going? Any details on that? Also, when is BTG coming to Orlando? It's kind of hard to get that far east, but one of these days. At the same time, I just do it for fun. So I don't know. One of these days, someone would have to make it worth our while, like a festival or something, but it could happen here in the near future. But Zach, we know that Bo Nix is putting together a little passing camp. What's the latest you've heard on that?
I have not heard much, Kirsten. I am coming off of vacation, so I was a little out of tune with Broncos.
There's been nothing.
Yeah. So I haven't heard anything on the Bo Nix passing camp. It might not have occurred yet. It might have occurred, but I haven't heard anything. We know
heard anything. I think we would at least be getting like last year, like some Instagram posts and stuff.
Right.
To my knowledge, it hasn't happened yet. If it has happened, they're keeping it hella tight, buttoned up, which I don't really think they would necessarily do. And by the way, guys, forgive me. I am looking at my phone, but it's not because I'm checking my texts. Okay, I'm like reading. I'm checking to see if I missed anything on the newswire on this front. So, I don't know. I'm wondering, Kirsten, did you hear something new? You'll have to tell us because I haven't heard anything on that front. Let us know. Great to see you, by the way. Hope the drumming's going really well for you. Rock out. We're going to get to the top 5 here in just a memento. Hang tight, guys. Lawrence going off, dude. Thank you, brother. Gene says, don't worry, Chad. My PFP won't change for a while. Profile pic. Got to keep it looking good. Yeah, dude. I love it. I would copy you, but I don't want to copy you. You know, I want you to be you. So it's awesome. Ed, Chad and Zach, what do you think of the news on PJ Locke? Thank you. That's a nice little topic we have not addressed yet, Zach. Happy 4th of July, Ed says to everybody. Thank you, pal. So in case you missed it, guys, PJ Locke through YouTube, he's on his own YouTube channel. He's putting out a little series, but through the series, he's announced that basically he had a spinal fusion surgery on his lower back. I think it was L4 and 5. I had the article. I watched the whole thing and I transcribed some of his quotes. And he played like Zach last year. By the way, reports are he's going to be good to go for training camp. We'll see. But reports are, Zach, that or pardon me, if you think back to last year, he just got a little bit of a paycheck, right? He got a 2-year, $7 million contract from the Broncos after he looked really good in Sean Payton's first season, playing in place of Kareem Jackson, who'd been suspended 1 billion times that year. And then we're all excited for him and Brandon Jones, and Brandon Jones outkicked his coverage, looked great, looked a lot better than I expected him to. PJ Locke, though, constantly getting burned over the top, not as physical, not as many big impact plays. Turns out, Zach, he was, I don't know for how long of the season, but for a good chunk of the season, dude, playing in excruciating pain.
PJ was very good in 2023 when he stepped into that role. In 2024, I felt like he took a major step back, and it sucks that he went through this. I wish the best for his recovery. He's the first player to come back from something or have something like this and come back from it, so I wish him well. I am very grateful, though, in hindsight, the Broncos signed Hufanga. I'm very grateful they drafted Barron. And I'm also a little disappointed because now it means, Chad, that PJ Locke has no trade value. I thought maybe they can flip him. He's still going to count $3+ million against the cap. I thought maybe they might cut him. Those options, it seems, for now are off the table. You're muted. You're muted. Am I muted? Okay, it's on me.
Good evening, everyone. Chad, you are muted. Zach was not telling you loud enough how you were doing for about the past 60 seconds. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
How long was it?
I didn't think you could hear me.
Muted? Oh, Judas Priest, guys. I'm sorry. I got to stop looking at my
phone.
I was
so confused.
What was I even saying? Oh, I was saying PJ Locke, dude. I think that's why.
Oh, man.
No, how long was it, dude? Is that an all-time high?
30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Gosh, damn it. Anyway,
you're muted.
I think that's why they haven't let him go, though, Zach, is they probably believe that, first of all, he's not that highly paid. I mean, $3.5 million per year average. But I think they also know that he was playing hurt last year and that if he can get healthy, could return to the guy we saw in 2023 who emerged as a legitimate. I mean, he set a Broncos record, the only safety in Broncos history to record a sack in 3 straight games. And this is a very storied team when it comes to safety history.
He's a valuable player to have as a backup, not as a starter. So I wouldn't mind him hanging around as the number 3, but just not at that current salary. If he wants to maybe renegotiate, take a pay cut, which he won't do, I would appreciate that. But I did want to explore a possible PJ Locke departure before we heard about the surgery.
Yeah, but I'm stoked. And by the way, it looks like it's going to be multiple episodes. The first one's up on his channel. If you go to the article, I wrote it, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. There's a link to the video, so you can go find it. You don't have to search on YouTube. Just go to MHH, find that PJ Locke article. Ralph, what's up, brother? Great to see you. Says, I'm late to the party. Appreciate you guys. Not sure the conversation on contract extensions, but Courtland Sutton did say he won't play for $14 million. I bet we sign him before training camp and everyone else goes on the back burner. I don't remember Courtland Sutton drawing any lines in the sand, Zach. Is there... What's your answer here for Ralph?
I'm not totally sure of the number he wants exactly, Ralph, but I just think he wants security, either long-term or by guarantees. He wants to feel like he's one of the higher paid receivers in the NFL. He wants to get back what he's given in. He negotiated in good faith last year, had a hold in, not a hold out, and then renegotiated his deal. So I understand that. But to me, and this is where it becomes subjective, not objective, he's not the number 1 priority. Among the big 4, I'm paying Zach Allen first, and then we'll see what money's left over. But I think he's going to stay for the duration of the season, Ralph, and they'll take care of him one way or the other.
All right, so at the risk of screwing up a good thing, I don't want to go back to looking at my phone. So what happened to it? I just tried to do the share screen. It went away. Firefox sucks, dude. I'll just go back to what I was looking at, all right? This year on the books, Courtland Sutton, his actual cap number is $20.2 million, but his salary is $13.5. So that's essentially, Zach, what Ralph's getting at. And he's in line, dude. I mean, it's a question of which one, who's the priority? Is it Zach Allen? Is it Nick Bonito? Is it Courtland Sutton? Ralph's asserting that it's Sutton. I'm not so sure, though.
I'm not either. But of the 4 that we talk about, including JFM, Sutton's the only offensive player. And again, you don't have a receiver as accomplished on the roster except for Courtland Sutton.
Jonathan, what's up, dude? Really good to have you. You spell your name like Jonathan Cooper with the O-N. Really cool. Very unique. Thank you for the super chat, dude. Helps us out a lot this time of year. Hello, been watching the show for a few years. Flying out for the Giants game, first home game coming from Pennsylvania. Bro, you're going to make it to the meet and greet. This is going to be awesome. When it gets a little bit closer, we'll give specific information on how to find us and all that stuff. So just make sure you budget, at least get into the stadium at least an hour early so you can come kick it, hang out, go to the team store, all that stuff, at least an hour. I would go earlier. It's going to be, I believe, Zach, it's a 2 p.m. kickoff-ish, 2:15, maybe 2:25. So I'd get there at 11. I mean, we're there when the tailgate opens at 10. We get set up with the goal being of having everything ready to roll for people to come walking through and hang out about 11. So try and get there as early as you can. Come hang out, Jonathan. That's going to be awesome, bro.
Yeah, Jonathan, appreciate you making your voice heard in here. Appreciate the super, and looking forward to seeing you at the meet and greet if you want to come out that way later this fall. Should be exciting.
Okay, we got Camden. What's up, dude?
Thank you, Camden.
Thank you very much. Very generous super chat. Means the world to us. You know this. We don't just say that. It's seriously very meaningful to us. We're grateful. Thank you so much. Camden's a longtime super chat superstar, though. Not necessarily every single chat or every single stream, but consistent and dating back a long time. So thank you, my friend. Hi, Broncos country. Happy early 4th of July. Do you guys think Sutton is on the hot seat this season as a trade candidate before the trade deadline, or is he safe? That's one of those questions, Zach, that has followed Courtland Sutton for 3 or 4 off seasons now. What do you think?
We had this question a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks, and my answer is the same still. I think it depends on the other receivers, how they're playing Camden come the trade deadline, not necessarily Court. We know what we're going to get out of Courtland Sutton. He's like a low-end number 1, high-end number 2, but how is Devon Vele coming along? How is Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and of course, Pat Bryant? especially with Bryant and Vele, if one of them looks like they can take over the mantle, if they're really quickly ascending, then they might have that conversation. But if not, I don't think they're in the position to subtract from Bo Nix's weapon chest.
Look, if you get to that far of the season where you're butting up against the deadline, you're in that week when things start moving, and Courtland Sutton has not been extended, then I'll start wondering if he might get traded. But I really don't think that's on the docket. I think the Broncos are happy with Sutton. He's showing progress since Sean Payton arrived. 2023, his yardage was about the same as what it had been the 2 years prior, but 10 touchdowns, double-digit touchdowns, a career high in 2023. Then he gets him a real quarterback, a Sean Payton quarterback, and he eclipses 1,000 yards. He's old, but he's not that old. He's turning 30 this year. He's been a longtime leader. He's an alpha. He's mentored a lot of those guys in the room, and he's got a real special thing cooking, Zach, with the quarterback, with Bo Nix. So if you're the Broncos, the only thing, and I talked about this a little bit, Zach, last night in my stream with Luke, spot rack. Do you remember right before free agency this year, we were looking at their market value projection for DJ Jones, and it was something like 13 million or somewhere. Like, no way he's going to make more than what the Broncos gave him, because he didn't quite live up to that. And they turned out to be right. And so I kind of trust what I see from them a little bit more. It's still a projection, so it's a guess, right? But dude, they have Courtland Sutton's market value set at $26.5 million per year. So it'll be interesting to see if that's how true that is relative to what the Broncos opt to do with him.
This is why they drafted Pat Bryant. This is why secretly they're hoping that Devon Vele has that breakout, that Marvin Mims can take the next step, and Troy Franklin, because I don't think they want to pay Courtland Sutton $26 million a year, Chad, and I don't know that I would pay Courtland Sutton $26 a year.
Scott just buried my take. 15. So spot rack market value $15 million for Dalton Reisner per year. Hey, they were right on DJ Jones, but they got, I think Zach Allen was somewhere around 22.5. Nick Bonito 23. Might be reversed, but 23, 22. Either way, all three of those guys, you're going to have to make a big decision soon. I think in order of priority, it's probably going to be Allen, but it could be Sutton, could be Bonito. I don't know. I'm not a fly on the wall in that office, although I'd love to be.
You got to pay one of your defensive guys, man. You don't really have the same glut of talent behind them as you do necessarily at receiver. You got to pay Allen or Bonito, and preferably Allen.
Dude, awesome. Roy says, I have my tickets for the game at the meet and greet. Awesome. Week 7, Broncos, Giants. It's going to be so fun. Ralph says Sutton gets signed before camp, then Bonito, because he's on a rookie contract. Zach Allen on a 3rd or 4th contract can wait until mid-season. Possibly. We'll see, brother.
It'll be pricey.
Rookie contract, 2nd. So this would be his 3rd contract. Yeah, because he played out his rookie deal in Arizona, signed in Denver, and this would be his 3rd. So we'll see. It'll be fun because some of the questions we have and all the speculation, that's when we'll start getting some answers. Phil says, I know there isn't any news on Bo's receiver camp, but was there any information about which players were going to his camp? Also, I feel Pat Bryant could be Sutton's replacement. He could be. What we know is basically the tight ends, the running backs, the receivers. And I would guess nobody would be left out from that. I think everybody probably gets an invite.
Right.
Even the low guys on the depth chart, like Caleb Lohner, rookie 7th round guy who had 50-something snaps as a tight end in college football. So we know one thing we know for sure, Phil, Pat Bryant was specifically invited by Bo. So we'll see.
I kind of feel the same. It's like an open invite. Whoever wants to come, here's a plane ticket. If not, cool. But yeah, like Chad said, everyone from Sutton on down's invited. And I wouldn't be surprised either if Ellinger, the 3rd string quarterback, or Stidham was out there with them as well.
Dom, in that same kind of vein that Phil's talking about, Pat Bryant could make Sutton expendable. And I'm reminded, I forget the coach's name. I would pull it up, but I'm not going to do it right now. Screw things up. That, the same guy that coached Sutton at SMU, his wide receiver coach, his position coach, ended up being the Illinois receiver coach for Pat Bryant's final year. And he said he's just, quote, just like Courtland. Their size difference is It's not negligible. Sutton's 6'4". What's Bryant? I think 6'3" if he's stretching. I don't know. Maybe, though. I mean, they do have a very similar play style, Zach.
Well, speaking of stretching, you don't stretch and reach in the third round for Pat Bryant if you didn't think like you're setting up the bowling pins for Courtland Sutton's replacement. And if you have enough, bowling balls to roll up those pins with Vele, Franklin, and now Bryant, odds are you're going to hit on one. I think the plan and the hope is that one of those three will step into that role to make Courtland Sutton expendable.
All right, guys. Should we get to kind of the meat and potatoes here? Graham, all right about the Avalanche for Mile High sticking. No more Broncos for a few years now. Oh, that's too bad. I didn't know that, but that's good for you, buddy. Good for you. Okay, Zach. This was inspired by the Broncos for Breakfast dudes, and I want to put this out to the chat too. Kliss is reporting Sutton won't play under his current deal. Zach, do me a favor, dude. Even if it's on your phone while I'm chatting for a second here, pull up Kliss's feed and see what you see there. Because if that's the case, oh boy, we have ourselves a little bit of a dramatic wrinkle going into training camp. While Zach's looking that up, we'll get to the top 5. But Ed says, Chad, Zach, I didn't get a chance to ask this yet. What do you guys think about Payton being ranked as the second best head coach in the NFL? So for what it's worth, it was the second returning head coach. What was the caveat behind that? PFF here, we wrote it up. Let me check it out. Sean Payton, PFF. But either way, it doesn't matter. I don't need to look up that small thing. Did you find it? Did you see something?
There's nothing on Kliss's feed. I don't know when he saw that.
Yeah, guys, give us more information. Jason, Ralph, tell us where you're getting that information. Was it an article? Did you hear him on the radio, etc.? Let us know. But what do you think about Payton being ranked second best head coach in the NFL right now? I think he deserves it, dude. I mean, look at what he accomplished last year. Forget everything that he already has on his coaching resume, including a Super Bowl championship with the Saints and all those playoff years. And anyway, just what he did last year, 58-something million dead on the salary cap, plays a rookie quarterback, they have to get skinny, so they rely on their youth. I mean, it was one rookie or first-year starter after another on both sides of the ball, and they win 10 games and make the playoffs and snap what has been a very unprecedented losing streak in Denver. I mean, seriously, since the 60s, doesn't get any worse than that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was Andy Reid is the only one, Zach, they had ranked higher as a returning head coach? I think that was the little qualifier.
Number one, after Vic Fangio, Vance Joseph, Nathaniel Hackett, it's so nice that the Broncos have a truly elite head coach, second best among returning in the NFL. But you picked on something that I was going to say, Chad. My takeaway was look at number one, look who he's behind. And that would be Andy Reid. And there's two ways of looking at that. They're still the king. The Broncos still have a mountain to climb to reach the mountaintop. But look at how they've done head to head. They should have swept Kansas City last season. They should have beat Kansas City at Arrowhead. We all know how the second game turned out. But the Broncos, you can tell, Chad, and we talked about it for almost a decade, coaching. They finally have that secret sauce.
So, yeah, the caveat was returning head coaches. So first-year guys aren't counted. Rookie head coaches aren't counted. Here's what they said real quick. Payton, quote, this was Dalton Wasserman, PFF. Payton inherited a disaster in Denver in 2023, and his quarterback, Russell Wilson, was clearly unhappy. After a 1-5 start, Payton rallied the team behind a strong defense to win 7 of their final 11 games. Wilson was jettisoned, and the Broncos selected their new quarterback, Bo Nix, in the 2024 NFL Draft. And then he says, Payton and Nix turned out to be a match made in heaven, giving Broncos fans a vision of Payton renewing the success he cultivated for so long in New Orleans. Denver's defense was still strong last season, and Nix's excellent 1.8% turnover-worthy play rate perfectly represented a team that did not beat itself. The Broncos lost only 2 games all season by more than 1 score, which were defeats to AFC elites Baltimore and Buffalo, so it's counting the playoffs. Denver has only added more talent this offseason and should continue to contend with its elite head coach, Zach, leading the way.
I love it. Again, we were through the worst. The first-time head coaches, the abomination, the incompetency with Nathaniel Hackett, that whole disaster. And to turn around from that, and also Russell Wilson to come out with Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and the success they had in year one, how do you not smile? How are you not happy if you're a Broncos fan?
So Joe's saying Kliss's comments were made on a local sports radio, probably The Fan. Okay. Well, we'll have to research that. So, in fact, I'll just ask Mike himself. But Zach, if that's the case, let's just say it's true. If he said it, because as you and I know, insiders, beat reporters, they're a little bit more loosey-goosey with what they're willing to say and share when they're on a radio airwave and even a podcast than they are the written word. Something about it being written and published, it makes it more kind of ironclad, where a guy speaking off the top of his head on a guest appearance on a radio show, not as many people are going to see it. And, it's kind of in the wind. It's gone. It's out there. Even though all radio stations nowadays, Zach, take each hour and turn it into an on-demand podcast. But I digress. If Kliss said that Courtland Sutton will not play on his current $13.5 million salary, maybe he will be the priority. And if that's the case, and he's trying to kind of throw his weight around a little bit or hold out, which he didn't hold out from the offseason program. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of it, to be honest with you, without getting a little more info.
Yeah, previous comment suggested that Courtland would be signed by training camp. So, Joe, I'm going to say, the closer we get to camp, if this is true, if he won't play on his current salary, then we'll hear more about that, and we'll talk more about it at the time.
Ralph says, Sutton's smart, knows that Bo is a beast. Why not ask for $20 million with a ton of incentives? I mean, that's one of the weird things. And then we're going to grab Taylor is, you think to yourself, and this was Luke's take last night, Zach. He's like, dude, Sutton, because I brought up the whole spot rack $26.5 million market value thing. And he goes, I'll paraphrase him, something to the effect of Sutton needs to be a good soldier and take another team-friendly deal and, stick around. Well, he took one already. Like that first extension he got, which was from George Payton. Was it the 2021 season, Zach, I want to say? Pretty sure. Him and Tim Patrick, side-by-side tandems. He did accept a lower deal than what he probably could have gotten, almost certainly, in fact, on the open market as a free agent. So if you're Courtland Sutton and the Broncos are coming to you about a contract, or your agents are talking, whatever, it's like, hey, George, I already took a little bit of a haircut for you. Now it's time for you to do – it could be that. I'm not saying it's that. I wonder. Or is Courtland Sutton like, hey, dude, I've been here my whole career since 2018. I've suffered through a lot of incompetency and losing years and coaching BS. I finally got my coach and quarterback. I'm happy here. Just make me not feel like I'm underpaid or disrespected, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I think the middle ground is essential here, because I'm looking at the wide receiver contracts around the NFL. Devontae Smith makes $25 a year. Nico Collins makes $24 too. Terry McLaurin makes $23. Chris Godwin makes $22. So, Chad, all those receivers, I hate to say it, are better than Courtland Sutton. He could ask, Ralph, for $20+ million with incentives. Doesn't mean he's going to get it. Now, does he deserve more than the 13+ he's making now? Arguably, yeah. He's a number one receiver on his team. That's trending upward. But if he thinks he's in the territory with true number one receivers contractually, financially, he might have a hard lesson coming.
So Scott brings up, hey, it could be completely different context too, in terms of what Kliss said, that the Broncos don't want him playing on that contract and want to do an extension to lower his cap hit. They reworked his deal twice last year to free up money, which is true. So that's one of the benefits to extending players, is you can lower their in-year salary cap hit, and especially with the way the Broncos do it, Zach, kicking that money down the road with the void years. But Taylor, dude, thank you for your patience. Appreciate the super chat. Bonafide Mount Rushmore super chat superstar in the house right here. Thank you, Taylor. Happy 4th, guys. Remember, Nick said you want to win the Super Bowl. I don't think Nick's came here to win a Super Bowl. I think he came here because he can win us more than one Super Bowl. Just my opinion. Yours. Well, you got the combo, dude. You got the head coach and quarterback combo. When you have what is projected to be, Zach, a top, number one defense, or let's just say top five at worst. These are the kind of, it's just like I wrote about in the actual article today of the Broncos top five, which we need to talk about that before we forget about it. And then we end up not even talking about the title of the podcast. It's happened once or twice before, not very often, but it's because we love the chat more than the topic. But in the case of that, maybe he means Payton. Oh, Payton coming to win the Super Bowl. Sorry, that threw me off. I'm reading what Mr. Producer's saying. What's your answer here for Taylor? I kind of rambled on for a second there. What's your answer?
Well, I mean, you mentioned he has the elite head coach. He has an elite defense. I'm talking about Bo Nix. And now he has a running game with RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. I mean, on paper, he should anyway. And if we all want to follow the Eagles model, so many people talked about Philly and how they took down Kansas City. They had a really dominant rushing attack and they had a solid defense and they were buoyed. Everything was kind of orchestrated around the quarterback. Yeah. So I'm not saying that Bo Nix is going to be Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying the Broncos are going to be the Eagles, but they have the ingredients to make the same recipe. Now, will the recipe taste the same, look the same? We shall find out.
That was the one thing. Invictus Films, what's up, dude? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you. Means a lot to us. I know everybody's going out about to have a lot of fun for the weekend, 4th of July, spend a few bucks. Thank you for throwing a few our direction. Means a lot. Thank you. But when you look at the top five players, which here's who I have, Zach, and let's just get to it. My top five Broncos currently, because you can look at it a lot of different ways in terms of how to qualify the top guys, but I use kind of a combination of all the factors and in descending order. Quinn Miners, Nick Bonito. No, sorry. Quinn Miners. Yeah, Nick Bonito, Zach Allen, Bo Nix at 2, Pat Surtain at number 1. The one thing missing, because they say the 4 cornerstone positions of a championship caliber roster is, first of all, do you have a franchise quarterback? On offense, the other position's left tackle. On defense, it's edge, franchise edge guy, and a franchise cornerback. The Broncos have all 4 of those, Zach. I mean, there's still people who are skeptical on whether or not Bo Nix is a bona fide, one more year of what he did last year, and I think people will be fully rest assured of those doubts. But the one thing missing that I think, getting back to what Taylor was talking about with Super Bowls, and this is where I lost my train of thought, was you need that elite wide receiver to kind of fully capitalize on a quarterback that we already know. Bo Nix is already the kind of quarterback that raises all the ships around him. What if you gave him a guy like Jamar Chase? Could you imagine? Like, I'm not saying go trade. I'm saying a guy like Jamar Chase, a true blue chip elite wide receiver. And Sutton's not that guy. He's old. This is age 30 season. He's not like old, but he is 30 this year, Zach. So they need to find an elite guy. Now, could Pat Bryant morph into something like that, develop into it? Marvin Mims, possibly. Troy Franklin, Devon Vele. I don't think on that caliber. I think, you got to find that guy in the draft.
Yeah, I pulled up the rankings really quickly. I don't want to get it wrong. I mean, everything here I agree with to a T. Surtain, Bo, Zach Allen, Bonito, and Quinn Miners. The only bone I could pick is the one that you hit on, not having Garrett Bowles. But if you look at it and break it down just by talent, effectiveness, Quinn Miners is a better guard than Garrett Bowles is a left tackle, just point blank period. So no disagreements here, Chad. Maybe in the future we'll have RJ Harvey or Pat Bryant or maybe Evan Ingram at tight end, a safety blanket for Bo Nix, but good list here, partner.
So let's make it more interesting. And which, by the way, guys, you'll have to let me know what you think of the list. Do we have a show tomorrow? I'm not sure on that, Ralph. I'm not certain. They haven't. Usually when there's any kind of hiccup or we got a holiday in week and there's guys who aren't planning on making it, I know by now. But it is the summer, so that's, it's possible that I think they're planning on it, though. We'll see. I'll let you know soon. Check Twitter after the show. I'll let you know for sure. But Zach, and by the way, guys, tell us your top 5. Who are the top 5 Broncos? Oh, Dylan's answering it right now. They're off tomorrow. Why don't they tell the boss, Dylan? I'm gonna have to jump on them. Just kidding. It's all good. It's freaking July, and it's the 4th of July. All good. Guys, tell us who your top 5 are. But Zach, if we make it interesting, who's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we were to talk about the top 10,
Sutton, Bowles. I mean, we don't know how good Greenlaw is going to be in the middle yet. Maybe throw in there, and we don't know about Barron. Maybe throw in Cooper, considering he's another edge and he's consistent.
True.
It gets pretty speculative after that, Chad.
I would put Bowles at 6.
What about Marvin Mims, considering all he does?
Yeah. So I'd go Bowles. I'd go Barron.
Sutton.
I'd throw Sutton probably at like number 8, 9, 10. Oof. That's tough. 9, 10.
It's all what
Maybe.
could be.
Say again.
It's all what could be. We haven't seen RJ Harvey. We haven't seen Ingram,
Right.
Hufanga, Greenlaw.
I'm going to count Barron, though, because not just that he's a first-round pick, but that, I think he projects pretty safe. He's a pretty reliable. I mean, what did Vance Joseph say again? It's a coach. It's coach speak, but he called him a can't-miss draft pick for them, at number 20 overall when he was still on the board. So if I can include and justify Barron, did you see the twitch just there? I twitched again. Then I would say RJ Harvey, maybe, possibly, but he hasn't even played it down. So same argument for Barron, but Harvey, second round pick. Some people argued, Zach, that he was overdrafted is the word, right? That he should have been a third or fourth round pick. But I won't include RJ, but I am going to include Barron. Those number 9 and 10, maybe Mims. Maybe you're right, Zach. Maybe Mims and Cooper.
Or Brandon Jones.
You're right. How could I forget Brandon Jones? And we don't count the free agents that signed this year.
Right. Just players we've seen already.
Yeah. And in that case, so let's just say we take Barron off because we haven't seen him yet.
Ben Powers?
No. I would throw McGlinchey over Powers. But maybe McGlinchey.
I think JFM.
JFM. Yeah, you're probably right, dude. In terms of the value he brings. Yeah, but it's fun to discuss. And, to really get into it, you have to kind of decide what the value factors are, like what you're basing when we talk about top 5 or what the best players are. Okay. Phil says no show on the 4th, doing Saturday instead. I mean, news to me, dude. I would be okay with it. Camden, again, he's jumping in with his top 5. Mine would be Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, Garrett Bowles, Zach Allen, then Sutton. Interesting. As top 5. Very interesting. Bowles is in there. Premium position. I won't pick too many nits. Harvey.
How you leave off the depoy?
Yeah, we'll see, dude. How could you? That's true. You don't have PS2, dude.
And I would take Miners over Bowles, but we'll see.
So now maybe this is Camden's top 5, his favorite players. I'm not sure.
Could be.
But the best way to look at it is what they mean to the organization, the value of their position relative also to the production and accolades, all that stuff. And you can start getting out into the weeds. Like Derek says, Benito, Surtain, Mims, Sutton, Nix. And then Zach Allen, Hufanga, Greenlaw. Very interesting. GLP in the house. Gary Palmer, what's up, bro? Thank you for the super chat from a Mount Rushmore legendary mythical member of our community. This man goes hard. What do you got planned for the weekend, brother? He says, hey, Chad and Zach, I love that we are underrated. This is going to be a fun season. Go Bo, go Broncos. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Oh, it's all good, Camden. I know, dude. That's the thing with lists. Your mind goes down one trail, you forget about another guy. It's all good, brother. We appreciate you sharing that. Thank you for the super. But Zach, after this has felt to me like the longest off season of all time since I've been doing what we do, and way more aggregation than we've ever done. Like literally anything PFF says, we're like, heck, there's so not anything happening. We'll cover it. But because of all the aggregation, I mean, we have left no stone unturned from the national perspective. If they mention the Broncos, PFF, NFL.com, CBS Sports, the list goes on. I don't think the NFL at large is sleeping on the Broncos anymore. I think they view them as a playoff caliber team that's going to be a factor. But I do what I see here, Gary, still, and so it does trickle to the team side. On an individual level, they are still, Zach, sleeping on Bo Nix. There is a lot of people still in the national perspective that will not give him his props, that are still holding on to, he's little more than a game manager and system quarterback and all that stuff. I don't see how they think that way, but Sean Payton will use that to the Broncos' advantage for some bulletin board material.
That's exactly what I was going to say. On a macro level, it feels like the perception about the Broncos is changing. Most people and outlets do agree they are a playoff team, and they will be so long as Bo Nix is healthy. But on a micro level, you still have the dissenters, Chad, who are so against Bo Nix. They were against him coming out of the draft, and they are sticking to their narrative. And no matter what Bo Nix does, they're going to continue on with that narrative and not give it up. But we don't care about them. We care that it's going to be a fun season, like Gary said, and maybe even a championship winning season. I don't mean a Super Bowl, but AFC West, it's up for grabs.
Dude, honestly, I haven't been I would say post Super Bowl 50, this is the season that's been the most highly anticipated for me. But like the closest I can measure it to was the Peyton Manning era. Like each year, you're close, whether it was the first year winning the final 11 games, getting the number 1 seed. Of course, it sucked that the Broncos got bounced in the first playoff games with that miracle stuff from Flacco and Jacoby Jones and the Ravens. And then you're like, okay, well, geez, we're forced to be reckoned with now, and looking forward to the 2013 season. And it cashed in on all of the anticipation, with the exception of the final game where you get utterly curb stomped by the Seahawks and so on and so forth. This is going to be a fun year, guys.
I was going to say, like in the Peyton Manning era, it reminds me of 2013, if only because that was Peyton's second year. He had a year under his belt with the coaching staff and the system, and now the expectations are raised. And if it's anything like 2013, minus how it ended and Chad was talking about, it's going to be fun, Gary. Thank you again for your generosity.
Yeah, dude. Great to see you. Hope you're staying cool down there in your neck of the woods, my friend. And have a very happy and, of course, safe 4th. Dylan says, this is the season to prove how serious this team really is. Put them on notice. I like it, dude. I like it. Diablo, Sean, and George Payton seem to know what they're doing. I have tons of faith. There's another thing I'm going to reference my conversation yesterday, Zach, with Luke was I didn't see George Payton and Sean Payton necessarily hitting it off to the degree that they have, right? Like we weren't even sure when Payton first arrived that George Payton was going to survive after the draft.
I've learned to trust in Sean Payton because the perception was he couldn't work with the GM. He was going to come in and be the GM and take over George Payton's job. But so many people forgot that in New Orleans, he worked really hand in glove with Mickey Loomis for a long time, and they were very successful. And there was just a lot of quick narrative forming about the George Payton, Sean Payton relationship, but they've been blossoming, mostly because Sean has enough trust in George to do what he does best. That's scouting, picking the groceries, and letting Sean Payton cook the meal.
That's a good way to put it. That's a great way to put it. Douglas wants to know what ended up being the ghost in the machine. To be honest with you, brother, we're still not 100% sure. All we know is that Chrome, we usually both stream from Chrome, the browser, and it's no go. It's not working with StreamYard like it has for 6 years for us. So we ended up both going from Firefox, and so far so good. But it's been very bizarre. StreamYard has not been able to explain it to us what was going on this last few streams. So yeah, here's Ed's top 5. Surtain, Miners, Allen, Greenlaw, Nix. Solid. If you're going to count the newcomers, solid.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the only problem with Greenlaw, I think he's going to be a great addition for the Broncos, but not a whole lot of production, Zach, on his resume. He does have a couple of solid seasons, but because of the injury bug and the consistency. So let's hope that quad he suffered in an off-season workout was not a harbinger, and that his injury woes, Zach, truly are behind him. But he did. I mean, anyone who's got an injury history, and they all do, right? It's 100% injury rate in the NFL, but there are the guys that suffer the more serious stuff and have more of a trend in their career that way. And Greenlaw's definitely one of those guys. And if you are one of those guys, Zach, you want to land in a place like Denver, who puts such a high priority focus and expertise in player health, sports science, strength and conditioning.
Sure. And if Greenlaw was going to get hurt, it's the best time for him to get hurt. If he was going to get injured, let's have it happen in the early offseason where he can be fully healed and ready for week 1. So that's why, Ed, we didn't include the new players, because we haven't seen them in a Broncos uniform yet in a real game. But I believe by the end of the year, we're all going to be, knock wood, Trey Greenlaw fans, big time.
Totally. Lawrence says, not going to lie, I'm happy the Broncos just decided to play football and take that $10 million hit. Maybe he's not saying the Broncos. Hold on. Not going to lie, I'm happy they just decided to play football and take that $10 million hit. Where does that come from? Cap space or owners? Zach, I need your context expertise, bro.
I got Scott distracting me in the side chat. I have no idea, Lawrence, what you're referring to. Please just clarify, and we'll answer.
I'm going to see if I can find the last thing he said. Maybe it's tied to the last thing he said.
Not going to lie, I'm happy they decided to play football and take that $10 million hit. Where does that come from? Cap space or the owners?
Dang it, dude. You'll have to elaborate, brother. We want to take care of you. Answer the questions. Find out what's on your mind. Yeah. Yes, indeed, Mr. Producer. Okay, guys, we're sitting here at 51 minutes, so we'll call this a 2-minute warning before we dip on out. Any burning questions, supers, get them in the chat. We'll get to you. Dylan says, I'd like to see a trade, Zach, for Darnell Washington from Pittsburgh. Need more at tight end, and a 6'7" target would be solid. What do you think for our guy here, Dylan?
Yeah, we all had to suffer through that week 2 Steelers game, and he was the one who scored the only touchdown in that game on a pass from Fields. I liked him coming out of school, I just based on the stature and what he can do in the red zone. But Dylan, I feel like they drafted Caleb Lohner. He's a big, tall receiving threat at tight end. They want to mold him in that way. I don't think you have to give up a pick when you have Lohner. You have Krull still. And, of course, you have Evan Ingram. So that's my answer.
He's interesting. I mean, last year, he's got 2 years in the league. Last year, he's appeared in all 17. He's been healthy for all 17 both years. Last year, though, 9 starts, but he only had 19 receptions for 200 yards and 1 touchdown. That touchdown, of course, Zach coming versus the Broncos. But I hear you, dude. I wouldn't hate it if they did something like that, Dylan, but they already kind of have a guy like that. Tall, athletic, big body, red zone target extraordinaire in Lohner. So we'll see how it shakes out, but something to keep in mind. We'll see. Yeah, that one is a little too controversial, Lawrence. We're not gonna go there, but I hear you, buddy. So okay, Zach, let's grab this super from Camden and give him his props. Thank you, brother. Thank you also for sharing your top 5. And guys, if you want to let us know if you got a top 5, drop it in the chat. Phil, how a complete pod. Thanks for another great show in these slow football times. Have a great holiday. Yeah, dude, we whistled past the old graveyard, Phil. We made it. I don't know what the issue was, but I'm glad we seem to have at least figured out what not to do. I don't know. We still don't know for sure. Scott has a feeling that it had something to do with us streaming to Instagram, maybe, or at least maybe it's a possibility. I don't know. But Zach, we've got the combination figured out. It seems, although It's not ideal. I still want to figure out Chrome because the features, the way it integrates with StreamYard is much better than the way Firefox does on our end. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully it gets fixed soon. That's going to do it, I think, though, huh, Chad?
Well, real quick, Douglas just bringing up that PJ Locke's injury was bizarre. It is bizarre that it wasn't. I don't remember it being mentioned on the injury reports last year. And we didn't hear word one about it from Sean Payton, which that part's not a surprise, right? During the offseason. So yeah, it did come as a big surprise that he not only had that injury last year, Zach, but had spinal fusion surgery. That's a big deal. Go watch that episode. It's on his YouTube channel, PJ Locke. It's interesting. But back to what you were going to do, Zach.
Again, I wish PJ Locke well. I'm just very happy the Broncos signed Talanoa and they drafted Zade Bear. And that's going to do it, though. Another tremendous installment of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH Pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle. Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out mhhmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. You can find us on Instagram at mile_high_huddle. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football pre-save 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, very important as always, that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
Amen to that. Lawrence, love you guys. Bad Scott, I wanted to see if the chat knew not show me love, but I love it either way. We love you, big dog. Thank you. And you're going off on a stars run, dude. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. It's great to see you. We've missed you. Hope you're doing well. David says the AFC West is going to be a war for Super Bowl winning coaches. Harbaugh doesn't have a ring. He has a national championship, and he got to a Super Bowl as a head coach with the Niners, but I'm trying to think if I'm missing something. Never got one as a player. Did he? I don't think so. No. But either way, we get your point. It is going to be a war. 4 legit coaches. Quarterbacks on every team, Zach. AFC West is going to be a lot of fun, and then I'll do the shout-outs.
Yeah, I was going to say it comes down to quarterbacks, and I'm not scared of Geno Smith, and necessarily I'm not scared of Herbert either. So I'll take Bo Nix, and we'll see what happens against Mahomes and company.
A mile-high salute to the great Super Chat superstars and supporters in the depths of the NFL summer, the 3rd day of July, helping us keep the lights on and contributing to the conversation, like the Papa Bear, Phil McLaughlin, Lawrence, Gene William, Ralph, that's the Brace Girdle boys, Jonathan Smith, dude, we're stoked to meet you in the flesh. That's going to be awesome. Camden, multiple supers, Taylor Christensen, my brother, Invictus Films, great to see you again too, by the way, my friend. The GLP, Mount Rushmore, OG, like going all the way back. Like, I think Gary might even go all the way back, Zach, to the 24/7 live streams from Facebook. Like, he's a member because he used to be a Facebook guy, and then he started coming over to the YouTube side too. But you're an OG. You've been with us a long time, Gary. We love you, big dog. And I think I covered everybody. So anyway, much love and respect, guys. Why did he just disappear from the? What the heck just happened? There he is. All right. Love you guys. We'll be back. First of all, again, happy 4th weekend. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Do not drink and drive. And Zach and I will see you on Sunday night and look forward to hearing how you guys enjoyed your weekend, what you did. So have fun. Love you. See you then.
Have a great 4th. We will see you Sunday. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.